To Tech Hack. I'm again here to discuss the concept of operating systems. In the last classes, we have discussed regarding the basics of operating system, system calls, and all. So today, guys, we are going to start with the process. In process, we will discuss the process concept, then the process state diagram, then process control block, and algorithms for the schedulings, etc. Guys, when we talk about the process is simply a program in execution. A program in execution means simply a unit of work in a modern time sharing system can be named as a process. When we talk about a system, there are two types of systems available. Likewise, they might be batch system or they might be time shared systems as well. When we talk about the batch systems, jobs are processed as a process, and time shared system, user program or tasks are allocated to CPU to work upon. Guys, when a process named is called, then we have two types of processes available there. One can be foreground process and another can be background process. When we talk about the foreground process, these are the processes which are used to handle the UI features, like user interaction features, which runs over the system by the users. And the background processes are the systems which are not associated with particular users but are required to complete some specific functions. Likewise, if you want to check out all the processes available there, you can simply go with your task manager, simply press alt control delete like I am pressing right now, and after pressing alt control delete you can check it out that we are having task manager on your screen. And in task manager, if you want to check out where are the processes, so like this you can open it, right click over here in processes, and then go to resource values, and you are having resource there, so you can check it out. I have opened some processes in my system. So if I am talking about this acro tray process, you can check it. This is having a process ID, process name, it is having a command line argument and the address as well. It is having CPU uses, memory uses, disk uses, network uses, power uses, and many more aspects can be checked out regarding the process from here. So guys, in this also we can check out whether this is a user process or background process. So if you check out, these processes are user processes. And when we talk about the system, so let's go into the details. So in details, if I move, username is Manish, local service system. So these are system processes and these are user processes. In this way we perform, or we can check out whether how many processes are running over there in our system and what type of those processes they are. When we talk about the process, a process includes the process stack, which contains temporary data, function parameters, return addresses, local variables, and data section, which contain global variables, heap, etc. It also contains program counters, data section, and all. Guys, when we talk about this process, you can check out that we have this type of data available in our memory. Like process looks like this in our memory. So when we discuss regarding this process part, you can check with me that this part stack is having temporary data as well as function pointers, variables, return addresses are kept in this stack. In this part we keep function pointer, variables, and return addresses. In this heap part we keep memory, which is dynamically allocated over there. In data we use global variables. In text we use our program counters, content of the registers are kept over here. So guys, in this scenario we can see, or we can visualize that how the process is working and how the process is allocated into the memory. In process there are three operations are there, like process creation is first one, then process termination, and then in between process operation. When we talk about the process creation, a parent process can create children processes which can create another process, and they can create a tree of processes. When we talk about the process creation in Unix, we use the command fork command, F-O-R-K. This fork function creates the process. In Windows, we use create process named function, which is a single Win32 function call over there. So in process creation, why do we need to have the process creation over there is simply whenever parent and children share their resources, children share subset of parents resources, and parent and child share no resources. These all three cases are implemented when process creation is there. For example, guys, if you are going to check an example of withdrawal, money withdrawal. So money withdrawal is a process, and money withdrawal takes many sub processes or child processes in between. Likewise, you can't take out the money from your account if you're not having the money over there. You can't take out the money from that account which is not yours. You can't take out the money from your account if your username and passwords are not correct or you forgot them. Guys, whenever you are going to take the amount from your account, so process is withdrawing money only, but whenever you are implementing this withdrawal money process, it is creating some sub processes like authentication checking. Likewise, it is required to check your username and password associated. It is required to check your balance available there so that it can be traced. If it is not sufficient over there, it is not available there, then you can't get the money. So it creates some sub process as well. Those sub processes are also named as child processes. So this is an example of process creation system. So you can check it out whenever a parent calls a fork call, it creates child process which executes, and when it exits, it might go to waiting queue and then can move to another part. The next part is process termination. In process termination, we simply use exit or abort mission. In exit or abort type of conditions, we simply work whenever some conditions occur over there. Like there might be 4 conditions. First can be normal exit. It means your task is done and you are leaving the system. It is voluntary exit. Another can be error exit. It means some error occurs over there and you want to exit from there. Might call again voluntary exit. Fatal error can be there. Some bug can arise over there. Like white number divided by 0 divisible error can be there. So these are your fatal errors. And killed by another processes, it simply means sometimes it is quite possible when you are not able to run another task due to some stuckness in your system or due to some deadlock due to the processes. In this part also we terminate the processes. So guys, to terminate the process in Unix, we use exit command. For fatal error, we use cc foo.c, f-o-o.c, and to kill, we simply use kill command in Unix. When we talk about the process state diagram, so process state diagram is the diagram which tells us that how the processes will work. Like whenever a process executes, it changes its state. State is the current activity of that process. Each process is an independent with its program counter and internal state, but many times it need to interact with other processes as well. So each process might be in any of the following states. Those states might be new state, running state, waiting state, ready state, and terminated state. So guys, when we say new state is there, it means a process is being created. When we say running is there, it means instructions are being executed. When we say waiting state is there, we say the process is waiting for some event to occur. And in ready state, the process is waiting to be assigned to a processor. It means process is saying, I am ready to run. Give me the CPU. I am having all the hardwares available. I am having all the requirements available. I am having all the system ready with me to run. If you give me CPU right now, I can process over there. This is the scenario when process is in ready state. And terminated when process say, I am done, I need to leave the system now, I have nothing to do with the system, so please let me allow to leave the system. So process kill itself or terminate itself to leave the system. So guys, this is the diagram of process state diagram. You can check it out. There are 5 states. Those are new, ready, running, waiting, and terminated. Whenever a process is in new state, it means it has been created. It is not like that process directly comes to the new state. Whenever process is in memory pool, it is transferred to job pool by using the schedulers. Long term, short term, and medium term, 3 types of schedulers are working over there. When we work with schedulers, so first of all, schedulers extract those jobs from the memory pool to job pool, and from job pool to ready queue. So when processes comes into the ready queue, before that when it is selected by the scheduler, the short term scheduler, they come to new state. Processes are being created to start. Then after processes move to ready state, they are admitted to ready state. In ready state, if they are ready to run, CPU will come, will select one, like there is a queue in ready state. So whenever the process is in at top of the queue, it will be allowed to run over there. So CPU is picking the process which is at the head of the queue. If process is running at ready queue and CPU comes, it is ready to run, it will move to CPU. CPU will start working. Now process is in running state. In case some interrupt occurs, process will move back to ready state again, and whenever again its turn will come, it will be dispatched by the scheduler to the CPU. Second case can be when process was in running state and some input output event wait occurs, then process will move to waiting queue again, and after the waiting queue it will move to ready queue, and then ready queue will dispatch it again to CPU to work. When process is done with the task, it will be exited from the system and it will be moved to the terminated state. Guys, I would like to show you the demonstration of this. For this, just give me a minute. So guys, this is the representation of the scenario I am talking about. So you check it out. Now I am having these processes. So this one was the process. Green dot is a processes which is having in the new state. So I have marked states over there: new state, ready state, waiting state, running state, and this is the terminated state over there. So guys, whenever process will come, it will work like this. You see, this green dot will come to ready queue first of all, and then after, if CPU is ready and it is ready, it will be dispatched by the scheduler like it is being done. It will move to CPU. CPU is working, process in running state. Next process comes into the ready queue. It is working over there. It is comes at the head of the queue. As CPU is working, so process red is need to wait. Interrupt occurs. Process green moves back to the ready queue again. Now because red was at the head of the queue, it is moving to CPU. It is working with CPU. In between, if some another process comes into the picture in ready queue, like yellow process is coming into the ready queue, now at the head green process is there, red is working with CPU. Say due to some input output, some wait occurs, it will be moving to waiting queue, will wait for the interrupt to be generated. It is moving to the head of the queue. Input out event working, it is working over there. Green is being dispatched to CPU in between. Whenever the task will be completed with the ready queue, it will be again moved to ready state. Now our green process is working with CPU in between. Whenever it will be done with the CPU, it will move to terminated state. It will exit the system. Right now it is doing, and then yellow will start working, and then after green will start working over there. So in this way our system works. You check it out how the process system state diagram depicts the working of processes. Now we can check my process red is about to work, so it is starting over there. You check it out, it is working, it is moving to CPU, it is working. When it will be done, it will move to terminated state again, and now all the three processes has worked with the CPU, they will leave the system. So guys, in this way process state diagram works. I hope you get it properly. Thanks for watching. Please like it, subscribe it, and share it with your connections.